Manever I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there o see dem yopo.
Nime, Name, the clergy, the chief imam, members of parliament, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. Nana Chairman, permit me to stand on existing protocols. Reflections on 10 years of the passing of Professor John Evans Atamils. I'm reading on behalf of Mrs. Naadu Mills. It has been 10 years of solitude since I lost Fifi, my husband, friend and confidant. Ours was a rather quiet and private life until higher national duty came calling. Then suddenly, we found ourselves in public limelight with its accompanying opportunities and challenges. Fifi was often battered and bruised on the battlefield of politics. But he held firm to his personal values of truth, simplicity, honesty, and abiding respect for all. These are the qualities I loved about him. To Fifi, serving at the highest echelons of government was an opportunity to help change the character of Ghana politics for the better. In this regard, I believe posterity will judge him well. Therein lies my consolation for the many sacrifices he had to make. Fifi, through the love of God, all is well. Continue your rest in the bosom of your Maker. Thank you.
Keynote or lecture. The chairman has to have a very difficult task. And what I may refer to surely can be addressed, can be described as a footnote, and nothing further than that. Not a footnote that Judge Carter referred to, but my own footnotes. We have been treated this evening to a very brilliant lecture by a brilliant person. Just the week before last, there was a caption in the Mirror going back to history, and in that Mirror report, there was a story of somebody having obtained first class in law at the age of 20. And if you are commemorating the demise of Professor Atamils, I think it's just as well that we should also remember that about 52 years ago, Chatu obtained the first class in law from the University of Ghana. At the tender age of 20, I think he's still a young man. We've been treated to a whole aspect of the life of Professor Mills, his moral attributes, his governance style, the structure of his governance, some key landmarks in his administration, the implementation of the single spine, his prudent management of state resources, his establishment of a heritage fund, his reliance on technocrats in the national interest, and putting in country above self. These are very commendable attributes indeed, and I think that the lecture will be made public so that you can digest them in greater detail. A personal challenge, a personal invitation was thrown at me, not a challenge. A personal invitation was thrown at me, and even though we are not in court, and who am I to contest Chachi in court, I would attempt to not give an answer or to give an insight into what is being done. It It is true that I played a part in the 79 and the 92 constitutions. And in the 92 constitution, some of my very eminent classmates were the Honorable Johnson Katia, who was a member of the business committee. And the time was when there was a motion, and Siedu had to get up to support the motion. And he predicated his statement this way: Mr. Speaker, I want to put my full weight behind this motion. And since, unfortunately, the weight was not existent, the motion was lost. And other classmates of mine were Honorable Collins Dauda, Honorable Mohammed Mumuni. I think I've seen him in the screenshot. Oh, you are here. Yes, he used to sit at the back and be throwing, at us. And Martin Amidou, and a whole host of them. And we had, our own differences, not of a political nature, but as regards our convictions on one aspect or other of the Constitution. Surely, we did not all agree on all the articles. In fact, there were instances where key articles which were voted upon were won by a vote or two, and we had to go into a division. So we could see from the very onset that the vehicle that we were designing, if it were put in the hands of a driver, the driver would immediately report about faulty brakes, poor transmission, lack of carburetor, F-fuel ratio in their carburetors and all. But that notwithstanding, a start had to be made. And I'm happy to report that since becoming chairman of the Council of State, I've initiated actions and moves to have some aspects of the Constitution looked at. Honorable Haruna Idrisu here will bear me out that at the Speakers Forum in Kumasi, I gave a very spirited opinion as to why we feel that some aspects of the Constitution should be looked at one more time. And since then, we've been working assiduously towards getting a consensus on the way forward. And to that end, the Council of State is currently in active consultations with the Africa Center for Economic Transformation, ECET, led by Dr. Kewaya Mwako. In fact, just last week, two members of the council were in Peduase Villa Lodge to have a day or two consultations with the greater group. We are giving notice, come September, we are going to have a larger consultative body comprising the executive, the legislature, judiciary, traditional authorities, faith-based organizations, organized labor, civil society organizations, probably in this very hall, to look at key areas of convergence so that we can all move with one voice and with one step, in unison. Because surely, if you don't examine some of the processes, they may detract from achieving the set goals that we have. We want to look at charters like the Directive Principles of State Policy, which though are very, very effective and very pungent and very pertinent to our national discourse, are non-justiciable, so that we sort of sweep them under the carpet. But if in this polarized political atmosphere, we all stuck to the principles enshrined in the Directive Principles of State Policy, we may go quite far. We get too much problem with adversarial politics in this country. And I think the time has come for us to sit and jojo, as the speaker said. We need that type of Professor Mills attitude where it is not for me, but for us. And if the country if the present is well prepared, then the future will be easy for posterity. Because we need to devote a lot more time to ensuring that some of these key things are done. So very soon we will get an invitation from the Council of State. We are coordinating all these activities, and we hope that the views that you bring on board will be thoroughly discussed before we go to the general public. And it would not be owned by a political party, because we have
Manever I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, I see them yopo.